We live up in this, up in here, up in here. That's right. Room. This space. This communal online internet space that we're all in. But all I'm doing is sharing this little box. What's on my screen with you? The magic of the internet. Who would have thought? Okay. Now I always have to check and see how everything is connected to the YouTube. Because YouTube is very important to the stream, to my streaming health. Okay? If it's not connected to YouTube, I don't know. Like, why are you talking? I do this thing with the voices. I took improv while I was last summer. I think I should take it again. Yeah, every single time I hop on to YouTube, it says making a currently not making it. I'm gonna focus on some architectural prowess improvement. And I'm gonna I need to draw my neighborhood a little bit. There's some stuff that's around me. And this is a little too precise. I need to get like a little bit more me. I have an image. What? How's the sound? Oh. Check. I'm working on some short stories. Short stories, maybe. Hey. What? Okay. I'm feeling this song too. It's pretty good. Okay. Got a little bit of practice or a little bit of a reference image right there. Before I do this one, I saw this image on. It was like an easy way to draw. What he's showing up there. I want to try to draw that in seconds. I might go for a different color scheme. Do I have any palettes that I might choose from? And campfire, flourish, watercolor daffodil, another watercolor daffodil. There's 2 watercolor daffodils? Pretty cool. I know this is on here. I'm gonna follow along with this guy. I'm gonna choose. Let's go with let's go with this. Let's throw that out there. Well, no, his is lighter than that. I'll throw that one out there. No.
Maybe I should put on this drawing guide on. It's boom, assisted drawing. Now it'll only go into that line on here. Perfect line. Let me see how he does this stuff. Curious. Okay. I'm gonna do that. Cross this. Diagonal? How can I make me go diagonal? Isometric. Now I can go diagonal. No, I can't go straight now. I don't really use like this. I'll just turn the 2D off. Maybe later I'll go. Fuck! Different layer. Starting over. I should make this one go the other way. I haven't done that yet. One's a little too thick right here. Let me smooth that out a little bit. Hi, I think you should get into business. Start your own company, work hard, and you'll earn a lot of money. See you later. Okay. Going some business details at me? You think I should get into business? Really? What if I change my life right now? Like, you know what? That's just the motivation I needed. Business? What? would have thought of it. Okay, boom, let's see what his next step is. Get to go to a new layer, otherwise I'll mess it all up. I was gonna say fuck it all up. Didn't. Made myself. I need to add a little bit of a little spice to mine too, like a little. Can't forget to close those circles, otherwise I'll boom. That's a little spicy now, right? A little bit. Maybe I need to add some, he's got some little streaks going through his buildings to show that they're not all just touching each other. might do that a little bit, a little later. Okay, left some spots open. Gotta find it right there. When you accidentally leave some spots open in your while you're drawing, and you try to fill it all in, you'll be met with a horrendous disaster. I showed you. Now let's see. That should be good. Boom. Can you fill in? Okay, he does like 4 layers. Wow. I should keep this one on this spectrum then. Color did I just... There's an opening. Where did it? Okay, there it is. There's part of the opening. Who knows if there's more? No, I need like a. I want to make sure there's a gap, but I don't want. How did I know that was gonna happen? Always leaving spaces open. No, this might be the thumbnail. Ah. I'll make this a YouTube video. look at that. It's pretty cool, actually. I like it. Which green's better? This darker one? I think I can draw some windows on them too. Alright, I'm gonna go one by one. Start with here. Did this in here, but it's fine.
Not worth living. Will I often come I got seen around and no hating for
I did like a little. Draw an antenna, draw an antenna, antenna. That doesn't make any sense. When you draw an antenna, it's an antenna? Yeah. Yeah, when I draw an antenna. Yeah, like there's never a building that has little bulges on the side. Oh, this building does now, okay. I want that one. This blue looks weird, while it doesn't look like the blue that's up in this corner. It's kind of weird to me. Okay, last layer. Reason. Maybe this is the rooftop right here. And then that's me. God, it looks ugly. I think it's because the little spokes are too large. Okay. Oh, why'd I click me? What's that mean? It's my channel? I wasn't done looking at this. Alright, it's taking me longer than I expected to finish this tutorial. Yeah, how did he do this thing where he just made it look like it was Alright, my sun is obviously not a complete circle, like an oval. How do I... Something with this tool? Whatever. Let's see. Freeform, no. Uniform, distort, warp. Advanced mesh. I didn't know I could do that. That's pretty cool. Distance for point. Velocity. Velocity. Snapping. Snapping on. Snapping off. Magnetics. Magnetics on. Magnetics off. I'm not sure what any of that does. Why can't I just fucking grab this thing? Okay, well, I'll just do something that I would solve then. Let's. Jesus. This needs to go back. Should I just change the color of the background? I think I might do that. Got some, he has the drawing assist on for sure. Oh. Yeah, sweet. These aren't my clouds. I'm gonna use my clouds. Get this drawing assist. It sucks. Turn it off. I do like the shits.
You might be missing out on one of Procreate's best features. This is one of the drawing guides, and I'm using it here to draw out a building that is perfectly in line with all of the rules of perspective drawing. These guides allow you to easily place where you want your vanishing points to go and then get to drawing. I'm actually building an entire course right now on all of these advanced features of Procreate, including each of the drawing guides.
The Digital Art Junkie is a really good YouTube channel too, actually. Like, I've learned a lot from Digital Art Junkie. Took me an hour to make this. I didn't even finish up the clouds yet. This is too geometrical to not have geometrical clouds. I don't even do clouds, I just do a rainforest. Where'd it be? Where's natural? flipping mask on there. So this little drawing guy. Okay, make it a little bit asymmetrical so I can. Now this one's super far away, so I have to make them super. Okay. What's now in the background? Have it on. YouTube has always been stopping that.
This 4 years, and it was because of a budgetary. Essentially, they wanted to project that it was saving. It wasn't expending as much money as it actually was, because you do it over 10-year horizon. If you start the thing 4 years in, blah blah blah.
Like, it's just being a little slow. Probably just because I'm listening to
And yes, you can see Bernie Sanders is upset.
Spotify streaming and trying to. Pink grass. How Earth moved 9 years ago. I really want to listen to. Hey, Vsauce. Michael here. Probably a problem. I really want the cognitive trade-off. Face, human behavior. Risk. 12 years ago.
Hey, Vsauce, Michael here. When will you die? I don't mean you specifically, I mean the mean of you all, the average Vsauce viewer. By combining World Health Organization life tables with YouTube analytics for Vsauce viewers, we can calculate that the average date everyone over the age of 15 watching this video right now will die on is 8:42 in the morning, November 28th, 2059. The mode is in 2073. Morbidly, but mathematically, about 340 of the people who watch this video this week will not be around at this time next year. These statistics are based on averages, but interestingly, the average person considers him or herself anything but average. Studies have consistently shown that the average person believes he or she will live a longer and healthier life than the average person. We overestimate the likelihood that bad things will happen to other people and underestimate the likelihood that they will happen to us. It's a natural part of our psychology, but yeah, we miscalculate risk in many fascinating ways. Casey Cole points out that we are often more responsive to threats that are personal, exotic, erratic, and dramatic than we are to threats that are, well, more likely. I love one of her examples. Imagine a world where cigarettes are harmless, but one cigarette pack out of every 18,750 contains a single cigarette laced with dynamite that, when lit, violently explodes, blowing the user's head off. People would be loudly and messily losing their heads every day all over the world. But in that imaginary universe, the same number of people would die every day because of smoking that already do. The results would just be more shocking, more immediate, and probably more likely to affect our decisions. Last month, I and some of my favorite YouTube creators met with President Obama about the decisions Americans make when it comes to protecting themselves from the cost of staying healthy. The issue of healthcare is mired in conflict and debate matched only by the turmoil of risk assessment going on in our own minds. Our myelinated machines use more biases and shortcuts to evaluate probabilities than can fit in a single video, but a particularly strong example is the availability heuristic. Our tendency to think that something is more likely because it happened recently, or there are more examples of it happening available in our memories, not because it actually is more likely. We also over-exaggerate risks we don't have control over, while being comparatively fearless in the face of equal risks we nonetheless can control. Chauncey Starr's famous 1969 study on risk found that people were willing to accept risks 1,000 times greater if they could control them, for instance, driving a car, than if they didn't have control, for instance, a nuclear disaster. Let's talk about Abraham Wald. Only so much extra armor can be added to an airplane before it becomes too heavy to fly. Now, during World War II, the US military noticed that planes returning from enemy territory were usually damaged around the wings, the body, and the tail gunners, so they put more armor on those areas. But it didn't make a difference. The same number of planes continued to be lost. So the military hired Wald for his mathematical superpowers. He told them to put what little armor they could on the parts of the planes that weren't being hit. Why? Well, because returning planes were survivors. They took damage in areas where a plane can take damage and survive. Damage to other areas caused the plane to not return. Wald was protecting them against survivorship bias, only paying attention to successes. A similar phenomenon is partly responsible for why music feels like it was just better back in the day than it is now. Is that really true, or are we just remembering the good stuff? Wald's work saved thousands of lives and made flying safer for many more. Tragically, a few years later, Wald and his wife died in an airplane crash. You can't predict how and when you will die, it's not that easy, but a few risk scoring systems have been created to make the discussion and comparison of hazardous behaviors clearer. The micromort was conceived by Ronald A. Howard and is an amount of risk equal to a 1 in 1 million probability of dying. John Green discussed micromorts in a fantastic Mental Floss video you should watch if you haven't already. He points out that a single skydive temporarily increases your death risk by 7 micromorts, a 7 in 1 million chance of dying. That's the same as smoking 5 cigarettes. It's been estimated that you gain 1 micromort for every half liter of wine you drink, every year you spend drinking Miami tap water, every 1,000 miles you fly in a jet plane, every 230 miles you travel by car, every 20 miles you travel by bicycle, and every 6 miles you travel by motorcycle or canoe. There is a happier unit of risk, the microlife. Proposed by David Spiegelhalter and Alejandro Leva, a microlife is gained by doing healthful things. In small quantities, their benefits are roughly linear, and 1 microlife is the equivalent of 30 extra minutes of life. 20 minutes of moderate exercise gives you 2 more microlives. 2 hours of sedentary behavior, -1 microlives. Plenty of non-scientific websites exist that allow you to calculate when you will die based on your life expectancy and habits. Poke
I've been sitting here for an hour, 11 minutes. What he's saying is, in about 49 more minutes, I'll lose a micro life? Because I've been sitting here for 2 hours? About 49 minutes. I'm gonna lose a micro life. Well, what's a micro? Is it a day?
MyBirthday.com is a kind of goofy site that takes a nonetheless interesting look at not your death, but your birth. Enter your birthday and see when you were conceived, when your mother probably first realized she was pregnant with you, and the dates your parents created or moved into position the 2 cells that eventually became the 30 trillion cells that are now watching this video. Every single person who ever died right here on planet Earth, except for 3, the crew of Soyuz 11. On June 30th, 1979, their cabin depressurized while returning to Earth before they crossed the agreed-upon boundary between Earth and outer space. Far from any populated area, a 3-sided metallic column sits where their craft landed in Kazakhstan. It's a remote memorial to humankind's remotest deaths. We haven't all died here on Earth, but so far we have all been born here. Thanks for being here. Stay safe, and as always, thanks for watching.
Thanks for being born here. And as always, thanks for watching. Hey, Vsauce. I hit back. I thought I'd go back to your channel. My laptop has been lagging. Join the curiosity box now. Wave. I'm giving away my beard for charity. Let's watch The Illusion of Time.
Hey, Vsauce, Michael here. When something becomes part of the past, can it ever truly be experienced again? Obviously, my beard will grow back, but it won't be the same beard, and it won't be on the same person. It will be on a slightly older, different Michael. But of course, the bearded Michael of the past isn't completely gone. No, he still exists in our minds as a memory, and in the form of records of the past, like images and video. Hi, I'm the slightly older, different Michael you heard about. I am 130 days older than that guy. Wow, 130 days. You know, it really doesn't seem like it was that long ago. Just as an optical illusion is a distortion of our sense of sight, a temporal illusion is a distortion of our sense of time. Some seem small, like how a minute spent waiting in line can seem to take forever, but an entire day with friends can just fly by. Some seem deeper, like the uncanny feeling we get from recordings that make people from long ago seem more real than usual. Or the strange way time seems to sneak by. For example, the songs I liked as a kid, Wannabe, Mbop, Semi-Charmed Life, are as old to kids born today as the literal oldies were when I was born. How can that be true? Am I really that old now? I mean, I shouldn't be surprised. I know how time works, but yet I don't. Far from being just mistakes, these illusions are the edges of another dimension of space-time. Not one given to us by physics, not one given at all, but one made by our minds. Let's begin with the different ways there are to feel time. Actually sitting down and consciously tuning into the passage of time as it happens is called feeling time prospectively. You can't do that to time that's already happened, except you can. If I were to ask you, without looking, to guess how long you have been watching this video, you'd probably be able to come up with a guess you were reasonably confident in. Well, you arrived at that guess by feeling time retrospectively.
2 minutes, 30 seconds.
By measuring it as it appears in your
I said
memory.
4 minutes.
Now, with that in mind, we are ready to approach our first illusion, the holiday paradox. A 4-hour delay at the airport before your holiday can feel unbearably long while it's happening. But once you arrive, an exciting day at your destination can seem to fly by. Those feelings are all prospective timing. A week later, retrospectively, the delay often feels like a blip in your mind, and the day of sightseeing feels like a much longer, bigger part of your life. These are the long-short and short-long patterns of felt time. Which one you feel depends on whether what you are doing is empty or full. An empty activity is monotonous, unstimulating, unimportant to you, whereas a full activity is packed with sensations, novelty, significance, context change, and challenge. Now, I experienced this during my 3 days in isolation. While I was there, time dragged very, very slowly.
A fear I have right now is that it's just Friday, and that there's still a lot of time left.
But now, years later, it's hard to believe that I spent 3 full days in that room? Jeez, seems like something I barely did. Well, it's believed that prospective time feels fast when an activity is full because you're not busy thinking about time. If you're not attending to it, you're busy with something else, well, you won't notice how much time has passed. But to understand retrospective illusions, let's ask a different question. Does time speed up as we get older? Many of you may feel the same way. Looking back, my childhood feels like it lasted so long. But my 20s went by faster, and my 30s are going by even faster than that. A popular explanation is the proportion theory. It suggests that time seems to speed up as we age because each new unit of time that we live is smaller relative to all the time that came before. The year you lived as a 9-year-old was 10% of your entire existence up to that point. But when you're 30, another year is just 3% more life. Studies have found little evidence that weeks, months, or even years are retrospectively remembered as passing faster by those who are older. But decades? Yes. And while it's true that the older we get, the faster we tend to think the last 10 years went by, that only appears to be the case until about the age of 50. After that, the speed of decades appears to plateau. A leading explanation is that how long a duration feels depends on how many things in it can be recalled. In my normal life, lots of different things happen every 3 days. But during the 3 days I was in isolation, so little happened that I have few distinct memories from it. My mind sees that emptiness and perceives that it was brief. So, perhaps a decline in new experiences and rapid novelty as we age means fewer events our brains decide to commit to memory. So then, looking back, because there are fewer distinct memories from more recent decades, we assume they were shorter. Reflecting on all of this, it's striking just how many moments are forgettable. John Koenig, the author of the Dictionary of Obscure Sorrows, calls the awareness of how few days are memorable Olika. Over time, our specific daily perceptions of what happened conglomerate into generalized ideas about how things were. Themes, moods, the big picture. What was perceptual becomes conceptual. And concepts are good. They lower cognitive load by wringing out details, leaving us with the broader, lighter gist. But they can also obscure reality, which brings us to our second distortion, chronological illusions. The world of our experience is not made of distinct entities. It's a continuity of fuzzy, overlapping blobs, and we impose concepts on it. For example, is a hot dog a sandwich? Is cereal soup? How many holes does a straw have? Those aren't questions about reality, they're questions about words we made up. Periodization is the chopping up of time into contrived pieces like the Stone Age, the Renaissance, the 80s, the 90s. But here's the thing. When did the 80s or 90s really happen? Mathematically, they refer to years that have 8s or 9s in the tens place. But conceptually? Well, it's not like on January 1st, 1980, people woke up and were like, whoa, 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 guys, it's the 80s, quick, everyone, change your clothes. Concepts say too much and too little. Facts that expose their imperfections are perennial favorites on social media. I made an entire video about them, in fact. But what hasn't been discussed yet is the mechanisms by which we allow them to do their dirty work. Let's dig in and see what we can find. If I asked you to lay down on the floor of a windowless, clockless room and get up after you thought a minute had passed, you'd probably do a pretty good job. But if I asked you to get up after you thought 10 years had passed, that'd be hard. We lack an ability to sense and grasp long periods of time. Also, we can't remember everything that happens. So instead of comprehending history's correct scale and structure, I believe that our minds often just use how we think about past events to place them relative to each other in time. One way we do this is through what I call the conceptual comparison heuristic, a technique whereby we use the similarity of elements in our conceptions of things to judge their temporal distance. If our concepts of two things suggest wildly different times, it's natural to assume that a lot of things happened between them. And if a lot happened, the duration separating them must be large. Alternatively, if our concepts aren't too different, the time between them must be bare of events, and so it feels brief. It's not a bad strategy, but tyrannosaurs died out 66 million years ago, and when T-Rexes began roaming the Earth, stegosaurs had already been extinct for more than 80 million years. To a T-Rex, the Stegosaurus was even more ancient than we think T-Rexes are. Here's another example. When we think of Marilyn Monroe, we think of a young woman, old Hollywood, mid-century glamour, Americana, black and white. When we think of the Queen of England, we think of an old woman in color in England and news headlines. Because those conceptions are quite different, we mentally place each woman in a different time, so it can come as a surprise to learn that they were both born in the same year. Similarly, it can be surprising to learn that Anne Frank and Martin Luther King Jr. were also born in the same year, and if they were alive today, they would both be younger than the Queen of England. When Harriet Tubman was born, Thomas Jefferson was alive, and when she died, Ronald Reagan was alive. This is surprising to many of us because our concepts of these people are anchored to them as adults. But Harriet Tubman was a 4-year-old when Thomas Jefferson died, and when she died, Ronald Reagan was a 2-year-old. Far from just being amusing, chronological illusions can often have teeth. America can feel like an idea fixed long before any of us by the overwhelming bulk of events that came before. But Barbara Walters has been alive for more than a third of America's entire history. And if you were 25, you have already lived through and been a part of more than 10% of America's history. Chronological illusions may also be caused by what I call the construal level heuristic, a technique whereby we place things in time based on whether we construe them concretely or abstractly. In social psychology, construal level theory describes how abstract and concrete thinking relate to psychological distance. That is, how distant something seems as opposed to how distant it actually is. Now, unsurprisingly, it's been found that people tend to think about things that are psychologically distant more abstractly. But studies have also found that if people are asked to think about an event abstractly, they'll consider it more distant than if asked to construe it concretely. This may explain why things can turn out to be longer ago or more recent than we thought. If an event recedes especially quickly from relevance or is suddenly replaced in our daily thoughts by other more urgent events unconnected to it, our minds may shift its construal to a higher level, making it feel further back in time than it really is. Conversely, if attending to the low-level details of an event continues to be important, our construal level heuristic will make it feel closer in time than it really is. Our third illusion of time comes from the fact that time is always...
It's like COVID. I was saying COVID was 5 years ago. Insane.
5 whole years ago.
Lockdown, everybody stay in your house, put your mask on. Now it's just feels like yesterday.
moving forward. Because of that, the psychological distances we feel towards things should also always be changing. But not all of them do. The belief that your place in time is stable is what I call the chronostatic illusion. Tim Urban pointed out that it is now the case that Jurassic Park, Forrest Gump, The Lion King were all released closer to the moon landing than today. As a person who remembers The Lion King being brand new and remembers feeling at that time that the moon landing was old, this is all very weird. The Lion King seems so much more recent than the moon landing ever did to me. The conceptual comparison heuristic places them far apart. My concept of the 90s will probably always stray from my concept of the present a little less than it should, because the 90s and now have something in common that the 90s and the 60s never did or will: me. Also, my
Here, before I lose one macro life, I need to get up for a little bit. Put my arms around, on my shoulders. wonder. I feel like I was just making it tough for myself. No wonder. A little doom scrolling. Exit 8. Ah, I heard about this. Ninety-3% on Rotten Tomatoes. What's going on, Anthony? Shout out. Appreciate you stopping by the stream. You know about Exit 8? Where can you watch this? Where can you watch this? Yeah. YouTube for $10, Google Play. You're working? I'm grinding. That's what I'm doing. You see this on the screen? Wait, over. We see it right there? I'm trying to draw a neighborhood. Not really grinding, to be honest. Let's see. Well, oh, it's on Prime Video? Let's see. Pre-order HD. Is it in theaters? How are people watching this movie? One of my buddies told me to watch Hokum though. Let me look up what Hokum is about. It's got the guy from Severance in it. I'm probably gonna go on Thursday, tomorrow or Thursday to go watch this. Look at the trailer. But you know what? Yeah, I'm an AMC A-lister. Hi, why are you? What you an A-lister for? Listen. Let me watch this trailer. Don't ask questions why I'm an AMC A-lister. Don't. Oh shit. Oh damn. Hold on a second. That shit just started going crazy in my ear. Put my headphones on, I'm getting some gurgles and some being startled. Alright, so we got the dude from Severance in the movie. We see who else is in this movie before I watch the trailer. I know his name, but I don't know his name off the top of my head. Adam Scott. I knew that. Got Adam Scott. Got who's Florence Odesh? You have this European lady. No, she's the film producer. She's not in the movie. Okay. Okay, that the European lady's not in the movie. Let's see who else is it? Mallory Adams. Don't know these people. Maybe he looks a little familiar. I'm not sure. Brendan Conroy. Brennan Conroy. I should know Brennan Conroy. Yeah, of the Conroy family. Yeah, who doesn't know Brennan Conroy? I'm Brennan Conroy of the Conroy family. Is what he would say if he was introducing himself to anybody. What's Brennan Conroy been in? Okay, The Legend of Longwood, definitely, yeah. Haven't seen that movie though, but definitely been in it. Let me look up Mallory Adams. I believe she is in Adams Family, of the Adams Family. No, Mallory Adams. No Adams Family. Nothing. She's been in a few movies. Chrysalis, 11:11. This movie came out after Stranger Things. 11 two times. I don't know who this is either. Peter Coonan. Crazy name, Coonan. Irish actor. Looks like he's got some headshots over here on the side. Might be a usual suspect of whatever crime you could think of. King of the Travelers, what he's been in. And a few other movies that make it straight to streaming now. And I didn't look at this guy, Austin Emilio, be honest. Not familiar with his work. Not too familiar with Austin Emilio. He's an American skateboarder and actor. Okay? If I was in the acting or if I was in the skateboarding community, I might know Austin Emilio. Hitman. He was in Hitman. We're all familiar with Hitman. When No One Sees Us. And Bunny Lover? That's a... What do you spell that? Mercy Black? Everybody wants some. He was in Fear the Walking Dead. Okay, that's... He looks like a Fear the Walking Dead type of character. He looks like he might be in Fear the Walking Dead. So, let me see if I can... transfer this to the webs. Alright, well, we're just gonna watch this as is. Let's put that Holcomb trailer on. Scott Adams. Adam Scott. Holcomb, let's check it out. Pause real quick. That was my attempt. At making a reaction trailer. I can get this up on the screen, 1 second. My mic wasn't even connected the entire time that I was talking about this movie. Oh, why would it be connected on the other one but not on this one? That shit don't make no sense. All right. Let's try this one more time. Hokum. Adam Scott. Severance. You see him up on the screen? You're about to get some crazy noises in your ear. I'm gonna turn this up a little bit so you can hear it as bad as I hear it. Okay, they're in a hotel. It's a hotel scary movie. Put him in a hotel. Make it scary. He's lighting up the darkness with a Zippo lighter. That arm is gone. I'm calling it. That arm is gone. I'm calling it right now. That arm is gonna be non-existent when I hit play.
First time in Ireland.
Okay.
Hi, folks.
I was wrong about the arm, but he saw. You know that's a jump scare in the theater. You know that's a. It's one of those moments where your ass lifts off the seat about 1 centimeter. That's what people in the writing room do when they're making movies like this. I want a moment where I can put fear in the audience's eyes. I want their buttocks to lift from the seats 1 centimeter. That's what the directors, that's how he engages his writers. That's what he says. I haven't been in the writer's room, but that's what I would say.
Came here for their honeymoon. Always wanted to come back.
Why didn't they?
She's in it!
I don't know if you've noticed, but there are some oddballs walking around this place.
There are worse things than strangers out there, Yank.
Oh,
One
wait.
of the members of staff is missing.
What about the honeymoon suite?
It's always locked.
From the director of Oddity and Caveat. No. There's one caveat. There's one caveat to watching this movie. There's one caveat. Is that how you say that word? Caveat. You know how people say caveat? Under one caveat. The more I say it, the weirder it sounds.
I'm getting a weird feeling.
Weapons, the producer of Weapons. Where memories are
Something
made.
feels off.
Jesus.
Okay. Honestly, if you're in any hotel and you see a little doll, eyes looking right at you. You see this shit right here? Why would anybody stay in this hotel? Alright, I don't care if there was a honeymoon here. I don't care. Oh, we stayed here and this wasn't here last time I was here. Old, creepy. I've stayed in an old, creepy hotel right off the Grand Canyon. Let's just say I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be here. Why is my microphone just going off? Okay. Now it should only go off when I speak. Alright. He saw some shit. saw some shit right now. Let's see.
I can't find a way out.
TV turns on. Put me in a room with no TV. I don't need a TV. I'm on vacation. Don't give me a TV. I don't want it. Hotel's already creeping me out. I don't want anything crawling through the TV, okay? Look at, oh my god, what kind of, what is this?
I keep hearing something. I think there's someone down here.
Why is he checking shit out? Why? Why is he checking shit out? He's like, I got a weird call. To the staff. I got a weird call. Someone was saying that they're stuck in the basement. I haven't been in the basement in years. No one's been in the basement. Jeff lost the keys and now the door's been locked. We did hear some banging the other day. You didn't check it out? I'm not checking it. Shit. That's the conversation between Adam Scott and hotel staff. Scott Adams? Adam Scott? Mr. Adams.
Hear me!
Get me out of here, man!
Adam Scott. Okay. I'm going. I haven't seen anything about this movie besides this trailer right now, and it seems like satanic rituals are happening at the hotel. I think some sacrificial shit's going on, and I don't know what that mask was about though. I don't know what the mask was about. Let's rewatch the trailer actually. Play a minute 59 seconds. Okay. You got a crawl space. You got a crawl space, and you got a weird elevator. This probably is a real person. That's probably someone who's sacrificing people. That can't be like, yeah, you might think, oh, it's an evil spirit, it's a ghost. No, I think that's a real person. That's scary. That is scary. Oh my. Got a little twinkle in the eye. There might be a little life. Let's see, there's a little life in that person. They're not dead. I think that's a murderer. And that guy who's man in the elevator, he's donezo. The minute this guy saw him, he's gone. He didn't just lose his arm, he's just gone. No longer alive. That's my first guess about this movie.
First time in Ireland.
Of course, they're in the middle of nowhere. Okay. So, what do we all know about the middle of nowhere? This phone right here, this does not work. This doesn't work in the middle of nowhere. I don't have signal. I can't call for help. That's another prediction. Phones are gonna be not useful in this movie at all.
My folks came here for their honeymoon. Always wanted to come back.
That's a lie. I don't believe Adam Scott's character came here because his parents came here on their honeymoon. I have two predictions. One, he's probably investigating missing people. Right? Why else wouldn't his character run? Why wouldn't he just get the fuck out of there? He's got to be investigating something or somebody. First guess. Guess number 2. Like, similar to the Ethan Hawke character in that one movie, he's a writer. He's trying to write a book. He heard about missing people. Like, this will make for a good book. This will be a good book. He seems like the type of character that would do that. It's because of the goatee and the glasses and the long sideburns. Goatee, glasses, long sideburns. You want to be a writer. Probably you are a writer and you're running out of material. So now you're gonna put yourself in the worst possible situation so you can get more material. The best stories come from the truth. Okay.
Why didn't they?
That was the mom from the Conjuring series, wasn't it? If there's some sort of connection between this and the Conjuring series, hold on. Is there? That was the mom from The Conjuring. No, that was her, wasn't it? My parents came here on a honeymoon. That was her. That was Vera.
Why didn't they?
Is that her? Is that her? Huh.
I don't know if you've noticed, but there are some oddballs walking around this place.
There are worse things than strangers out there yet.
Okay, they're setting him up as terrible, evil-looking guy. He's not. He's gonna be just as freaked out as Adam Scott's character. Those people who work in the hotel, they're all conspiring to murder some of these people. This guy knows about it.
One of the members of staff is missing.
Okay, I did just watch the trailer, but the guy who's missing is the person who lit the Zippo, saw the person, and now they're gone. He's like, what the fuck? Missing? What do you mean missing? This is gonna be great material for my book. This is gonna be great material for the prison guard when they hear it after I arrest the man who murdered the person that's missing. That's one of 2 thoughts.
What about the honeymoon suite?
It's always locked.
Why is the honeymoon suite always locked? What's going on in the honeymoon suite? Don't know. No idea. What would be going on in the honeymoon suite? Let's see. You got a murderous couple. Those people who man the hotel, they stay in the honeymoon suite, and they murder people in the honeymoon suite, so it's locked. So you can't go in the honeymoon suite. People died there. Evil energies, maybe.
I'm getting a weird feeling. Something feels off.
Jesus.
He's in the honeymoon suite. That's where he went right now. That's my other prediction. Honeymoon suite's always locked. He's like, it's not locked for me. It's not locked for me. I have the key right here. So then he went to the honeymoon suite, and he released some evil shits, or he saw some evil shits that he shouldn't have seen. I have another theory now. So either he goes into the honeymoon suite, gets spooked out, opens up the curtain to the TV. Watch the TV covered by a curtain. Don't know. Opens up the TV. It's covered by a curtain. There's a DVD or a VHS inside the player. It plays and he sees their murderous activities or their rituals.
Can't find a way out. I keep hearing something.
He's playing. Oh, I got it. 100%. This is what's happening. He's playing some recorder or something that was in the honeymoon suite. He's like, you shouldn't have heard that. Now you gotta die. That's what's gonna happen in this.
I think there's someone down here. Can you hear me?
Get me out of here, man!
Let me look at this guy again real quick. Is this an animal or is that a real person? This might throw off my entire theory because it's got ears coming out of its head. Now, does this thing live at the honeymoon suite? What kind of animal? Is this like a half rabbit? What is this thing? Huh. What is that thing? Its eyes are bulging. Ha 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 ha. Okay. Okay, that's there's something fucked up about the honeymoon suite, I'll tell you that. Alright, put this back here. Oh damn, it told me right here in the description. He's a novelist. I fucking called it. When novelist Om Bauman retreats to a remote inn to scatter his parents' ashes, he is consumed by tales of witch haunting the honeymoon suite. Oh, he's consumed by tales of a witch haunting the honeymoon suite. So, is this creature's the witch, I guess? Disturbing visions and a shocking disappearance forces him to confront dark corners of his past. Confront the dark corners of your past. We'll see. We'll see what happens. That's my prediction though. I don't think he should have been investigating the shit he was investigating. I need material for my book, okay? I need the material. I don't have the material. I can't get the novel out. So he had some ulterior motives. He wasn't just spreading his parents' ashes on Adam. I want to hear this too. Why does Bill Burr go off about... Didn't Shapiro talk about his wife?
People lose their minds when they see like the aesthetics don't match up the politics. When he talks about certain things, he has the capacity to deliver this information from this like impartial observer perspective that's like, you know, I had it, dude. What are we doing? We don't have any health care.
Bill Burr here on the Rich Eisen Show. I love
It's like those Trump guys. They're always going like, you snowflakes, F your feelings and all of that. And then you make fun of Trump. They're like, oh my God, it's so disrespectful. It's like you're saying F Joe Biden. It's like you can't have it both ways. So that's my thing as a Pats fan, okay?
Yes.
It's just like if you're doing it too, quit your crying. Quit your crying. I mean, you know.
How's your wife's hands doing these days?
Oh, they're fantastic. I love my wife. You know where you stand with her. Okay? The guy walked in the arena. Everybody cheered. She gave him the finger. Nobody got arrested. That's why this country's great. Everybody expressed themselves. Can we all be adults?
Well, folks, Trump has tremendous celebrity power. He showed up to a big UFC fight last night and got interesting. At a UFC fight, he was flanked by Tucker Carlson, so Tucker showed up with him. Here's what it looked like when they walked in.
How strong that team is, making his way into the building. One of the bigger mixed martial arts fans I know, President Donald Trump.
Well, he was very popular, except for like one human. So it turns out that Bill Burr, the comedian who has a new movie out, he was also at the UFC fight, and he was there with his wife. His wife is sort of a Black Lives Matter activist. And here is what it looked like when she flipped him off on the big screen. So you can see her behind him, and she flips a double bird at Trump as he moves into his row. Now, this spurred all sorts of conversations online.
I mean, I don't know about you, but I came there to go to the fights. I didn't know I was going to the Republican National Convention. My favorite thing was when Trump was going, thank you, thank you. You know what it reminded me of? When OJ got acquitted. Remember that? When he's going, thank you. Like, I can't believe I'm getting off of this. Thank you, thank you.
We, the jury, in the above entitled action, find the defendant Orenthal James Simpson not guilty of the crime of murder in violation of Penal Code Section 187A, a felony upon Nicole Brown Simpson, a human being, as charged in count 1 of the information. Superior Court of the State of California, County of Los Angeles, in the matter of the people of the State of California versus Orenthal James Simpson. We, the jury, in the above entitled action, find the defendant Orenthal James Simpson not guilty of the crime of murder in violation of Penal Code Section 187A.
He's another guy, Donald Trump. He's getting the Michigan treatment. Do you know how many people you could accuse of that, falsifying your assets for what they're really worth?
Right.
Like, how come they're not going after the banks? I can just walk into a bank and be like, my house is worth $5 trillion. Can I have a $30 million loan? Okay.
My only pushback on that story is you said your wife gave him the finger. It was more than one, I think I saw, right?
It was dual.
It was.
It was dual. We'll have to go. We'll have to go to New York for the.
I can't believe that this is even a story still. Like, it's so stupid. God, conservatives are such pathetic little babies, dude. God damn. You are not cut out for the real world, okay? That's it. You're not. You're so sensitive. You are such a sensitive little baby, dude.
The tape and take 10 minutes.
It's not a story. It's on the Roku channel. No, but it was like popping on all of the people on Bill Burr subreddit, and his Insta were losing their minds over it. Yeah, I think Bill Burr gives off the vibes of like a conservative Boston guy because he looks a certain way.
The immigrants, you know, they do the jobs that Americans don't want to do. I love how they always put it back on, like, they always get it off the rich guys. Like, immigrants do the jobs Americans don't want to do. That's such a brilliant way of saying that Americans don't want to be grossly underpaid for breaking work that makes somebody else $1 zillion dollars. Do you think those immigrants want to do those jobs? And I love when they sit there and go, oh, they're happy. They're happy. Bent over at the waist all day picking jelly beans. Huh? You want to do that out in Candyland Fields? I don't think anybody wants to. They're basically saying we can't get away with sweatshop labor in this country anymore because of unions. All right? And then they spin it around. They go, the Americans don't want to do this job. You're telling me you couldn't find an American to go out and go pick some apples if you paid them right? Huh? Who the wouldn't want to go out and go pick some apples? You get that bag, right? You're walking around out in the air. Nobody breathing down your neck. You're just up there picking apples like Johnny Appleseed. I'd love to be a apple picker. If you paid me, you know, you want to give me 30 cents a month to go pick apples? Yeah, go yourself. You pick the apples.
You see that? They don't want to work. They don't have a work ethic.
Jesus Christ. Anyways, gotta go find some guy that used to sleep on a rock under a waterfall to do that goddamn job. Of course you did. Some guy walked here, you know, from Zimbabwe, grabbed himself a piece of oak or whatever, some light pine or some shit, right? And doggy paddled his whole way over here. Yeah, you think he's scared of picking some apples for no money? He doesn't give a He's happy to be back on the land. But you got to go to that guy, that level of struggle in life to find somebody to go out to go, you know, roll the cantaloupes in after the harvest, right? Why? Because we don't want to do it or because we won't work for $1 a month, you rich cunt? Oh, I'm on a tear this morning.
That's great. I mean, it's true. God, he's so good. He's so good. What's wrong with his point? Wait, what? There's nothing wrong with his point. A lot of people will say immigrants are doing the job no one wants to, which is a liberal take. You hear it from libs all the time, sometimes even well-intentioned libs. And the hidden truth beyond that is just like we need open borders to exploit people and like it's dehumanizing work. But he's right. It's not dehumanizing work. It's dehumanizing because of the wages. Okay, that's it. This is like a leftist take on a very common liberal trope. They're doing the jobs we can't do for wages nobody can live on. Yeah. Immigrants pay a lot of taxes too. John Oliver did a story on immigrants paying higher taxes. Yes. And they get nothing in return for it too. I don't know if he's hating on the rich or the immigrants at this point. Wait, what? No, he's not hating on the immigrants. What the f are you talking about? If you think that he's hating on immigrants when you heard him say that, then you're not listening to the words that are coming out of his mouth. You're just personally hyper focusing on the way he sounds. That contradiction is why I also extra love Bill Burr, right? Because he does sound like a chud almost, you know? He's like a bro, he is personally a Boston guy. You know what I mean? He's from Boston. He is straight up the best you're gonna get out of Boston, okay? Especially at his age. When you going on the Bill Burr podcast, never. I wish I could.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Why can't he? Okay. I wonder why you can't though.
So people lose their minds when they see like the aesthetics don't match up the politics. So a lot of dudes that listen to him, even when he's like preaching straight up basically Marxist principles, okay? Like he's not, for the record, like he's not a Marxist-Leninist or anything like that, but he is like a very understanding guy, okay? Rich Eisen is popular, relaxed chat, lol. Yeah, I don't know anything about Rich Eisen. I'm just simply stating that he is a very open-minded dude, and he's a very smart guy, and he's very funny, and I think he practices a lot of empathy, right? And he is pretty left-leaning, like way more left-leaning than the average liberal that goes on MSNBC for sure, right? And when he talks about certain things, he has the capacity to deliver this information from this like impartial observer perspective that's like, you know, I had it, dude. What are we doing? We don't have any healthcare. Like when he says it like that, nobody goes, oh, this is some woke, scolding, annoying, gender non-binary, blue-haired college campus liberal, right? They don't think about it like that way. They look at him and he's like, yeah, this guy kind of smart. He looks like the type of guy who would be voting for, he looks like the type of guy who'd vote for Donald Trump, right? But he's like wants healthcare. And that's the reality. Like that's the thing is just, it's the aesthetics that matter way more to most people, right? Rich Eisen is just a sports guy. He's not a conservative as far as I know. No, I'm not talking about Rich Eisen. I'm talking about, I don't know anything about Rich Eisen. I'm simply talking about Bill Burr. Riz wins POTUS elections, period. Another important factor is that he doesn't self-identify as a leftist. Good. I'm glad. He shouldn't. But overall, way better for a guy like that to be advocating for workers' rights and shit like that, as a known centrist. You know what I mean? As like someone who is in the center of a lot of issues. You pick and choose. That's my point. I don't have to agree with every single thing that a person believes or says.
Sam Adams has brewed its signature beers in the heart of Boston since 1984. So who better to try out our new Jacko Pumpkin Boston Ale than real Bostonians?
I love Sam Oktoberfest, but I think this might even be better.
You know, it's got that great Sam Adams taste, but the pumpkin flavor really kicks it up a notch.
Sketch.
Jesus Christ. What is that? All right, let's try this for real.
I like that. I could definitely taste the hops.
Pop-Tarts, Reese's Puffs, what are you, 8? Oh, what's that look? Oh, you gonna take a swing at me? It's today the day? Huh? Today the day you take a swing at your old man? Is that what it is? Come on, you a man now? I didn't think so.
Real Bostonian.
Give me that. No.
A leftist guide to debating list.
How do they fly? I'm curious to know this now.
How is it that some characters in JJK can seemingly fly, even if they don't have a technique that should allow that? Let's talk about it. First of all, shout out to Anthony for asking me about this today and wondering just how flying works in JJK and who can do it. So first and foremost, obviously we have people with certain techniques that can fly, like jet plane hair, helicopter hair, people like Gojo with the Limitless and his spatial manipulation that allows him to fly, people like the Angel who literally has wings. Now, all of their flight is obvious, right? They have abilities that allow them to do it. But what about everyone else? Like Sukuna, for example, who is somehow T-posing all over the skies of Shibuya with a slashing technique. This is actually something Gege talked about in some volume extras. He said, logistical stuff I wanted to talk about but was shelved because I had no time. And essentially what he's saying here is that he wanted strong sorcerers to have the ability to move in midair, like a double jump. So he came up with this idea of skilled enough people being able to seize the surface of a space, the same way that Maki and Toji can kind of perceive the different fluctuations in atmospheric pressure and temperature. Good sorcerers would be able to do this as well, and then with controlled bursts of cursed energy, be able to essentially like jump off of the air, performing these double jumps and essentially having the ability to fly in a sense. So Gege is talking about wanting to do that, but basically not having the time to establish it. So he says that somebody like Higuruma is essentially doing this by using his gavel to like hit cursed energy off of certain spaces. And it's around this time that he decided Higuruma would be one of these ultra talented people capable of that. But yeah, first of all, Higuruma is him, but then people that you see flying in JJK that don't have an explicit ability to fly, like Gojo, are doing this. So people like Sukuna, Higuruma, Maki, and Toji. Now them it's a little different because they're not using cursed energy bursts. They're just so physically built different that they can sense those places in the air and essentially jump off of them without cursed energy. And then what's really cool about this is even though Gege didn't have time to establish that type of stuff in the manga, like he said, this was stuff I wanted to talk about but was shelved, they get a chance to showcase this now in the anime. If you recall, in season 3, we essentially see Yuta jump off of the air with his cursed energy like this. So Yuta as well is one of these supremely talented sorcerers that is capable of this flight. Manga from the future here. Before I posted this video, I got another question kind of on this same subject. So shout out to Pierce for asking if Choso would be able to fly by levitating the blood within his own body. And while this is an incredibly creative idea, I don't think so. I don't think like the durability of his veins and internal structures would be able to handle carrying that much weight, if that makes sense. Maybe he could Iron Man like shoot blood out of his hands and feet, but I think that's about the best he could maybe do. How is it that some characters in JJK can seemingly fly, even if they don't have a technique that should allow that?
Not Choso.
Let's talk about it. First of all, shout out to Anthony for asking me about
JJK,
this.
to be honest. Pretty interesting. He knows a lot. Because he's read the manga. He's read the manga. Alright, okay. 2 o'clock. Done streaming for today. Thanks if you stopped by. Shout out Anthony. Shout out Free Guistan. Kurdistan? Oh, Kurdistan is. Okay, free it. Liberate that country.